We have, yeah. We a few years ago now we went out and took our first network pitch out to America, which was a real learning curve for us because it's unlike anything you do in the UK. We got through our UK agent, we got an American agent who then guided when we sent them some paragraphs of outlines for shows. They helped us choose one of those paragraphs and said we think this is probably the most sellable in the US. We worked it up into I think like a 2-page treatment or something, and then with the help of our US agent, we prepared what they call a pitch, which is a rehearsed 20-minute speech that you perform. You don't stand up, but you sort of just off the top of your head, you just do this piece. And some people like to act out, some people have props, some people have visuals.
It helps if you're a performer for that.
It does help if you're a performer, and we're not particularly, as you can probably tell. So we rehearsed this sort of 20-minute spiel where we had little lines and stuff, and then in the first instance we did a few things over Skype to what they call pods, which are production companies out there. And that was nerve-wracking because you do these little half-hour sessions and there's very little chit-chat. They don't like chit-chat.
Particularly because of the satellite delay as well. When we were doing it through Skype in the first instance, you're sort of waiting for a laugh on a joke and there's a delay and then it crashes the next line.
And they'll log on and go, hey, you're on with so-and-so and so-and-so. Hey guys, how you doing? Great, right, go. Okay, right, we're in. So we do the pitch. And you do that, we did that I think 10 times or something on Skype. And then one of those pods, or a couple of the pods actually liked it, and then we went out to LA, and then you do this sort of 3-tier pitch. You pitch to the pod gets you on board, the pod takes you to their studio who owns them, you then pitch to that studio. If the studio likes you, then you go in with the studio and the pod to the network, one of the 5 big networks, and then you pitch to the network, and we pitched to all 5 big networks, and NBC picked it up for the pilot script, which was great. So we got to write a pilot script for NBC. Didn't go beyond pilot script, but that in itself was a huge, and I think at the end of it we'd pitched 21 times. By the time we got that sale to NBC, we'd done this one pitch, this 20-minute piece, 21 times. Trying to each time make it sound fresh and exciting.
Yes, well, you're not paid for the pitching part, but if you sell, we got more for one script that didn't get filmed in the pilot than we got for the whole first series of Big School. So what it means is that also, which is hard in UK because the money isn't there all the time, but it grants you time to spend on that script, and it meant we could really we had probably, whereas normally you'd have maybe 4 to 6 weeks on a script to get it really good, we had 3 and a bit months, didn't we? Of just
just focus on that.
But there was sort of because we were writing from home and then getting notes, you would finish right at 6 or 7, send the draft off, try and relax for the evening, go to bed, and then you'd wake up, and because they've been awake overnight, you've already got the notes back. So it was like a living cycle. You never got to the point where
you were like really happy with what you just sent off, and then if you were really unlucky and looked at your email at 11 at night just as you're going to bed, you just go,
guys, there's a few notes.
So many things wrong with. Let's not worry about that till we wake up.
And it's also worth saying that although in the initial phase that our first trip to LA was funded by ourselves. The second trip, because once we'd sold to a studio, the studio then flew us out for a second trip.
So
at that point, the studio's paying for your flights, paying for your hotel. That's quite nice. Although you're not getting paid money for that, you're getting treated pretty nicely. And then when you sell to NBC, you then get what's called the script fee, which is the big money. But then it's worth a gamble. It's worth trying. Yeah. And then we did it again. We went out and repitched again, a different idea a couple of years ago. Didn't sell that time. So we sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. You're competing against a whole.
Yeah, when you see who they've picked up, they say like, oh, Will Ferrell's company's got one and Tina Fey's got one, and you go, oh, well, we're never going to get close to these guys, so that's fine. We'll just be happy that we got to where we did.
We'll definitely try again. Yeah, because it's a great learning curve. I enjoyed it actually. Mm-hmm. The discipline of it is a different thing, and if you can get a show away, you can get a script away. The rewards are huge.
I think a lot of people make good money from not selling shows. It's got an interesting process in that they really reward failure in a genuinely sensible, smart way, which is that they put a lot of money into just development, so that you could pitch and you could make a living from just writing a script but never having it filmed a year, and actually sometimes you get quite good rewards for actually being told no. You can get that into the contract to say you'll give us X amount of money if you don't like this, because they just want to buy into you and they want to buy into your idea, and what they want to do is kind of give a recommendation to say, we trust you, we trust that you're going to do something good. And I think it does really help as a writer to have that that feedback because you give it so much energy because you're like, oh God, they really believe in me, you know.
But I was going to say that, so for NBC there were 60 pilot scripts they commissioned that year. I think 10 or 11 pilots got made, of which 2 or 3 get picked up, of which probably 1 makes it to the end of it, maybe 2 make it to the end of a season. So you know straight away your odds are pretty small of getting through there, particularly when you know the level of competition you're up against. But nevertheless, you sort of have to give it your best go and see what happens.
You see the scale of the entertainment industry in America. It is enormous. It's an absolute beast. And TV alone, I mean, just separate film out for a minute, the TV alone, this pitching season we did, it happens every year, this cycle of pitching to networks where hundreds and hundreds of pitches are made and they buy hundreds and hundreds of scripts every year. In the full knowledge that they're going to cull, and you mentioned the numbers there, they'll buy, NBC alone bought 60 scripts, they're going to cull, of those, they're going to cull 50. And the ones that make it to air maybe want to make it to the end of the season. So they know full well going into it they're going to make, it's a huge triangle. But the money is there to do it.
I mean, our understanding is that sort of you only need one Big Bang Theory to pick up loads of these. You know, it's like a venture capitalist model is, we'll put money in all these, and we only need 1 or 2 to be big hits, and suddenly it covers all the rest, and then we repeat that afterwards. But I think in the UK it's a shame because it does mean that a lot of writers do have to juggle projects, that they can't be single-minded, even when you're writing a sitcom or whatever project it is. You often have to be doing other things or line up the next thing. And also what you don't benefit from is a writer's room where you can just have lots of ideas. And also school people through. You know, in America, a writer's room will be the first way in. You can have an arm around you, you can be guided through. And there's really, like, we've had to learn ourselves, really, haven't we, as we've gone. We have had,
as everyone does who's
we
writing
have had
comedy,
mentors in terms of producers, and but very rarely senior writers that are further down the line. So everybody's sort of having their first go at it, and it's a shame because you know just a few words from some people. You'll get script editors and producers that will help, but it would be helpful to have those showrunners or mentors to help you through, I think.
But interestingly, the Americans look at the English and go, or the British, and they go, you guys have got it so great, you get one guy, gets to create 6 episodes, perfectly formed, without these writers' rooms blanding everything down, without these interfering execs and stuff. So they see our method as being...
They cover this method.
They cover our method.
Till they see the money.
Because they see the money and they go, I'm not interested.